Alright, before I stupidly describe Dune, how about we talk about something serious? Donald Trump selling Bibles. It's a shame that he is doing this, as he is losing the Protestant vote by selling these indulgent Bibles. And just remember, the Mormon missionaries that sometimes knock on your door asking about a free book, how would they feel that they are losing out on all of the profits of selling a religious text? Well, now I guess we'll talk about Dune, the thing that people are talking about and calling people the Messiah.
Hail, Messiah! I'm not the Messiah! I say you are, Lord, and I should know. I followed a few. Hail, Messiah! I'm not the Messiah. Will you please listen? I am not the Messiah. Do you understand? Honestly!
Only the true Messiah denies his divinity.
What? Well, what sort of chance does that give me? All right, I am the Messiah. He is! He is the Messiah!
Obviously, spoilers ahead. Dune, the story that for many years was considered as the nerdiest book series ever, was brought to the movies by babyface Timothy Chalamet, young Willy Wonka. Now, Timothy is a part of a house called House Atreides, but that's a weird name, and they're basically like England. They got a good navy and they got a good air force, but they suck on land. Now, this English house has a great rival, the Harkonnens. But let's call them America, because England used to not like America. America currently controls this universe's Tatooine, and on this desert planet, there is a native people group and spice. Spice is really addictive and is like oil, so it makes sense why America would want to control it. The first movie starts out with the UN telling Timothy Chalamet's dad that England can now control Tatooine, and that America is getting kicked out. So the English forces rally and establish themselves on Tatooine. All is well, but America is going back to Tatooine like they would the Middle East. They gotta have that oil. So Timothy Chalamet's dad gets killed, and the only people that make it out of this tragic disaster of the city are Timothy Chalamet, Thanos slash Mikey's older brother in The Goonies, Aquaman, and Ilsa from Mission Impossible. Though sadly, Aquaman gets killed shortly after making their escape, and Timothy Chalamet, along with Ilsa, ditch Thanos in favor of seeking refuge with the native people. Also, in part because Timothy has been having very interesting thoughts about Zendaya. This is where the first movie basically ends. But now, here's where the second movie picks up. And this movie is just combining Avatar with Lawrence of Arabia, which is what all movies are, a remix of every other movie or story that came before it. This is because Timothy Chalamet moves in with the native people, and just like Jake Sully in Avatar, gets the native girlfriend, Zendaya. The tribal council says that Timothy and his mom can stay with them. Timothy gets to have the anime training arc, while his mom drinks blue fluid, which makes her go a bit insane, and her baby in her womb can speak with her. Timothy then becomes the Messiah to the southern people, but some of the people he is training with still don't trust him, though our boy Timothy wins over the hearts of the northern people when he rides a massive worm. Yeah, it's kind of like a pod racer. At the same time, America allies with the UN in space, and they plan for the head of the UN to go to Tatooine. The Americans also use nepotism to change the head of their Tatooine program from Drax the Destroyer to Elvis in the live-action movie that also features Tom Hanks. After this change, Timothy confronts his internal demons and decides to go to the south, the heartland of the native people. But before that, Thanos shows up and lets Timothy know where all the English nukes are. Oh yeah, because there are nukes, the UN decided that every house should get an equal amount of nukes. Probably seems like a good idea for nuclear disarmament. Once Timothy makes it to the south, he plots a plan to take charge against the UN and the Americans. When the head of the UN comes to visit Tatooine, as the battle comes to an end, Timothy challenges Elvis to a duel of supremacy with a knife. And just as the protagonist is about to lose, he suddenly is able to come out on top. Whoa, who was expecting that? Well,